Old books have a smell. Old furniture definitely has a smell. We do a lot of true antiques. They're all over 100 years old and European, so they've crossed an ocean. So they're a little, they can be sometimes a little stale. And then just hitting them with a good smelling spray just helps.
To celebrate our community of local artists, the Art Museum of South Texas is asking 10 creatives one question. What 10 tools do you use to make blank?
I'm Terrie Moore, and I own Wildflowers. It's a home and garden boutique. Since I'm in the antique business, my number one thing is my Sprinter van. I have a Mercedes Sprinter van that I use when I go to auctions, when I go to estate sales. That's how I gather my items. That's how I get my stuff to and from where I need it to go. So, because we do a lot of staging too, so my van is definitely me. You can walk in it, stand up straight and walk through it. It's a nice big van and I love it. All enclosed. If I go to an auction, I can fill it up, lock the doors, and worry about unpacking it a day later. The second thing was my tape measure, because it's all about scale. So you want to make sure whatever it is you're doing fits and wherever you want it to go. I have two. One is a good 12-footer. Pretty much 12 feet is about as big as we need to get. So a good 12-footer on my hip, it clips on my jeans, is always there. And then I carry a little 6-footer on my keychain, so when I'm out, if I want to measure a cabinet or something that I see on the fly, I can do that. Because nothing's worse than buying a 10-foot cabinet for a 9-foot store. My other secret item is my barkeeper's friend. It's an inexpensive cleaner that you can get anywhere, but it's great for polishing old brass. It's great for polishing old silver, pretty much anything. Porcelain, it'll just brighten it up. So I use it a lot since I deal with a lot of antique and vintage items. Helps restore them and bring back their shine. I also have found that I don't just decorate with my eyes. When I do a space, I use all my senses. So smell to me is real important, and that's probably the number one thing that I think people forget about when they're decorating, is the sense of smell. So I use Sydney Hale. We sell it at the shop, and so it's easy for me to use their sprays. And I spray everything. When we make a delivery, I spray the bag. When we're doing an installation, I'll spray the furniture. I'll spray the drawers of an old antique cabinet. So when you open it, it smells really good. The room smells really good. You'd be amazed how much prettier everything looks if it smells good. And again, going with the senses is lights. So I always have a variety of light bulbs. Sometimes you need an Edison just to do kind of, some ambient lighting. Sometimes you need a spotlight so you can highlight it. So I find that having a good collection of bulbs in my toolbox is really helpful. And again, you're seeing with your eyes, so lighting really helps. The other thing is my Sonos, which is a portable speaker, because music and sound is so important. So whenever we're staging, I always make sure that there's a good background music, whether it's a party or my store, or a model home that we're doing. I always make sure that there's some background music, nothing gets you quicker in the mood than listening to something jazzy or peppy, or if you want to, something soft. So sounds are real important. So I always carry around my portable Sonos. Something else that I use a lot in my decorating is plants, because plants make such a difference in any room. A room can be beautifully decorated with furniture and upholstery and curtains, but it really doesn't feel finished until it has some greenery in it, something that's alive. So I always use plants to decorate with. We sell plants, so I classify plants in two different categories, forgiving and non-forgiving. I tend to love the forgiving ones, although the non-forgiving tend to be the prettiest. But I love yucca canes. They're super simple. You can go weeks without watering. Same for snake plants. You can go weeks without watering. They're a great one. Ponytail palms are the same thing. Maidenhair fern is probably the bane of my existence. I have bought hundreds of them. I've never been able to keep one alive, but I keep trying because to me that's the sign of a true gardener, if you can keep a maidenhair fern alive. So I'll keep trying. Garden pruners. I always carry those around because there's so much free beauty. And just last week I was at the side of the road clipping some giant Johnson grass to put in a vase for fall. Giant reed grows here prolifically, so I always carry pruners. I also use it, I've been known to clip other people's plants when it's dying and looking really sad. A lot of people don't know that if you cut off the dying parts, it really invigorates the plant. So it's important that if your plant's not doing well, if you have parts of it that are yellow or brown or dying, that you cut it off. So I have been known to attack my friends' plants with permission to try to get them to come back to life when they seem to be on their last leg. Are my hands. Because sometimes just tweaking things, sometimes just moving things a little bit makes all the difference in a design. Sometimes just lifting a painting a few inches or moving a vase over a couple of inches just makes everything come together. It's so funny how placement for me is very intuitive. I just know when it feels good, and I also know when it feels off. So my hands are one of my biggest things, is just moving things around until it feels right. Another item that I find really helpful is my passport, so I can travel, because that to me is very inspiring. To see how other people live inspires me. I sell things that are durable and reusable and solid, glass, silver, wood, things that are lasting. I think well-designed things last forever. And I hope that that's what people get when they come into the store. The fact that I really see my store as theater, it's a theater, and it changes with the season, it changes with the week. And it's not about coming in and just buying something. To me, it's more important if you come in and you're inspired.